We are set to go, ladies and gentlemen, people around the world. Welcome to the Weekly Beer Show. Woo! All right, what do you got there? What's going on, Nate?
What does this say?
David versus Goliath. All right. Wow, back in the saddle. Hey, everybody, how's it going? I'm your host, Travel Man Dan. That is our other host,
Nate Lagerton.
Nate Lagerton. Okay, how you guys doing? Hopefully, everyone is doing well. We are now at this new time slot. So thank you so much. If this is your first time hopping on the show, thanks for stopping by. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do here on the show. Well, Nate, we do go ahead and review beers. This is a weekly beer show. So we got two delicious beers today that we're going to review. And today's theme, yes, what's the word, boys? Today's kind of premise of the show is all about lager beers. So we got two delicious lager beers that we're going to go ahead and review. What's up, Brendan? What's up, Damien? Happy Sunday night. I like the sound of that. We also are going to go ahead and bring you some great segments like the good news segment. We got a little bit of everyone's favorite, the what would you rather. We're going to close out the show with what are you reading, what are you watching, what are you listening to, and then the quote of the show. So today's going to be an awesome show. Thank you so much. If this is your first time on the show, this is actually really fun for us because this is our new time slot, guys. Nate, if people are returning and they're wondering why we're on at Sunday night, why don't you go ahead and tell them a little bit about what we do and why we're here on Sunday night?
Yeah, so we made a decision here. We wanted to make sure we can get as many people involved on the show as possible. We will be doing our live stream now at 5 o'clock on Sunday evenings. That will be Pacific Standard Time. Pretty excited about that change. For those of you that are coming back, you know what we do. We review two beers every weekend. This week, we're doing the lager beers, as Danny told us, and we go right to the scorecard. We have 5 different categories with 5 points each of a total potential point of 25 out of 25 for the perfect beer. Danny, is today the week we get there?
I don't know. Today could be. Today is a very special day for a lot of reasons. What's up, Lisa? Have trolling. Yo. What's going on? Skull, baby. All right. So, as Nate said before, today might be the day we get to 25. Today is going to be an awesome day. It's good to be back, Nate. I want to go ahead and say hi to everyone. I feel like I haven't been on the show in a very long time. I've missed the last 2 weeks. One, because of traveling. I was literally traveling and I was tired and the time didn't work out. The Magic Globe had a little bit of glitches in it. So I didn't end up exactly where I was supposed to be at the time I was supposed to be. So then last week, if you don't know, you probably were expecting me. I'll go ahead and let everyone know right away. I got COVID. So I'm giving you guys a 25. Thanks, Brendan. So I am actually still feeling the effects. I got COVID about a week ago, so I haven't drank a beer in, I don't know, almost 10 days, man. It's going to be awesome today. I didn't get hit with it that hard in terms of the longevity of it. When it did come on, it was freaking painful. I'll be real honest with you. The first night was definitely, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was sweating. I had an extreme headache for probably 48 hours, cold sweats, as you know, Nate, body aches. Then it all went away other than the headache and then just congestion. And I was spitting stuff up for, pretty much all of last week. So 10 days, this beer will be a 25, says Dave Z. Welcome to the show, Beer in Front. Glad you're feeling better. Absolutely feeling better. So, yeah, that was my COVID experience. I didn't lose my taste completely. I don't know. My smell is pretty much back. It was gone for, I don't know, about a day or so. I'm still smelling a little bit. Nate, do you know what I'm talking about?
Of course, yeah. Most people that experience COVID come out the other side with some sort of a hindrance on their taste or their smell, and it happened to me.
Yeah, the main thing was, I'm still not back 100% in the smell. The taste is definitely still there. I never really fully lost it. I thought I did, but I noticed today when I was eating. But all in all said and done, I'm feeling pretty damn good. Looking to go get tested tomorrow and get back to work. I had to sit out on the bench and work from home last week. That was no fun. You're basically on this island, and then your sickness came back at the end of it. I know, Chris. All right, so Nate, you know what he's talking about right there. Let's go ahead and address our game. How was your football game today?
It was good. Eagles won 24-8, something like that. I don't know. They basically took the gas off in the second half, so I kind of started tuning out at that point. But played their old starting franchise quarterback, Carson Wentz, made him look pretty much like he looked the last 2 years in Philadelphia. I think they sacked him 9 times, so it was a good game.
Holy crap, they got that many sacks?
Yeah.
Damn.
Brutal for them.
I was, the one day I didn't start Devontae Smith. He goes ahead and scores like 2 touchdowns or 170 yards receiving. He made like 25 plus points in fantasy. I was kind of upset about that, but congrats on the win. Unfortunately, it's a very somber. We did not squish the fish. We squandered the fish at the very end. We had about 2 minutes left. I thought we were going to score. We didn't. Then we held them to a goal line stance on the opposite goal line, literally, not where they were scoring. It was literally our goal line, and we stopped them. The punter was punting from the 14 yards that's in the end zone. He kicked the ball. It hit the center's butt, squibbed out of bounds, and we had the ball with like 20-some seconds. We couldn't get it off and kick the field goal. We got the safety. It was just a mess. I mean, it was a mess. Bills lost, but hey, I say 2 things. One, 16-1 is not a bad record, Nate. And even the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. So, hey, what are you going to do? We lost.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call the Miami Dolphins dogs at this point. But yeah, listen, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose on the road in the humidity of Miami early in the year when there's a kind of a freak play than losing straight up in December in Buffalo.
Dude, it was crazy, man. I never seen so many guys going. There was probably, 20 injuries. No joke. And not even to mention, we didn't even start with our 2 starting safeties that have only missed 2 games in the last 4 years. And we haven't had our corner, and both of our corners are starting corners. So our entire defensive area, we had literally a guy from the practice squad come in because the guy that was backing up our other guy came in. No excuses. Congrats, Miami. We'll see you again, hopefully. You know what it felt like for me, Nate? 1993.
Why 93?
That was when like the Bills and the Dolphins were vying for position, and it was the whole Brian Cox. I don't know if you remember Brian Cox, the linebacker, when he was flipping everyone off. And we got a new what the hell is his name? The defensive end for Miami. He seems to be a new nemesis.
Rousseau.
No, it was I forget his name. Gregory Rousseau played his nuts off, man. That was an awesome game for him. He's starting to shine, man. He's starting to be a hell of a player. But we got lots to talk about. I'm back in the show. Nate's here. Nate, I'm so excited for today as we're going to go ahead and drink a beer. But first, I got to go ahead and bring out the Brett and Brian. Da-da! All right. I wasn't able to go ahead and show this off. You got yours handy? It's football time. Okay. Atta boy. So these are the Brett and Brian's. I got the Brett. Nate got the Brian. This actually holds 3.5 cans of beer. So it's a pretty big cup. 3.5 is the actual total. You may remember I drank this during the 1 December episode of last year with Brett and Brian. That's why I call them the Brett and Brian Cup. And I was able to score them, and I've been holding off since football. Nate busted it out the first week, but I was in Vietnam. But here they are, Nate.
Yeah, it's a good glass.
It's a really good glass. I like the lip on this thing. It's like a real heavy, like jug lip,
It is heavy when you carry it around. It's got a lot more glass than a regular vessel for beverages.
But the one thing that I'm really excited about is the hard pour because you got enough room where it can't escape, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, well, guys, let's go ahead and bust out. You ready for today's beer, Nate?
Let's do it. Which one are we starting with?
We are starting with the G1. The G1 is going to be the G-Spot, guys. We're going to call this the G-Spot beer. Nate introduced me to this beer, about 6 weeks ago, Nate?
Yeah, it sounds about right. When I was down in San
When you
Diego.
went down to San Diego. and you're like, you got to try this beer. It's awesome. I went the next week and I tried it out. It was amazing. I don't know how to explain this. It's kind of like your dad's brew, like when you were a kid. It's just got that flavor. There's a creaminess to it. This beer is amazing. This is becoming one of my favorite, if not my favorite, go-to beer. Guys, let me introduce you today to, ladies and gentlemen, Gillies American Lager. Boom. Oh, man. Look at that thing. Gillies. Nate, this beer is fantastic. How did you find out about this beer?
I was actually at like a little convenience store in La Jolla, and I was just getting ready for the evening's festivities with my brother, which essentially means finding a couple of six-packs and splitting them. And I was talking to the guy up front, and I was like, hey, is there anything new and interesting that people are kind of buzzing about? And he didn't even hesitate. And he's like, yeah, let me go show you this beer. If you like lagers, this is the one to try. I said, yeah, I'm always curious to try something different when it comes to the lager variety. So he gave me this, bought a six-pack. I think I bought another 3 six-packs before I left, and I brought 2 to bring home. That's how impressed I was. So, yeah, it's a really good beer. They don't necessarily have a brewery or anything like that, but they're growing a name in California, and they were alive and well at the Beer X. So that's where I saw them after I had bought the six-pack.
Oh, you actually saw them there?
Yep.
Nice, dude. We got to try to get them on our show here. It's a lighter beer. It's 4%, but it is lager, so you're going to get that. But hey, Nate, what do we do? Well, let's go ahead and get started. What do we do?
Crack and smell them, taste them.
Well, let's do it, buddy. Let's crack this sucker. Oh yeah. All right, yeah. So my smell is about halfway there. I can smell beer, but not really a lot of it. What do you smell, Nate?
Yeah, it's a lot of grass, a lot of kind of straw smell. But it's basically exactly, there's a bit of sweetness there to the nose. I can't figure out what that is, but it smells like a classic beer.
Classic beer. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and dump it in to my Brett and your Brian, and we'll go ahead and try this sucker out. I like the hard pour on this thing because it just, look at this. Oh, yeah. I feel like I should go get another one. It just doesn't do justice in this giant fishbowl of a football frenzy. You know, this thing is, I literally feel like I'm drinking a fishbowl.
Yeah, they're big, these mugs.
All right, guys, Gillies. Cheers, Nate. Let's go ahead and taste this sucker. Oh, cheers. Baby. First beer in 10 days. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. First sip. Look, I definitely have my taste. And it's what Nate was saying before. It tastes like a classic beer. It tastes like your beer that you first started drinking when you started drinking your dad's Old Milwaukee or OV. It just tastes like that classic taste. It's got a very corn cereal flavor to it, a very average flavor. But here's the thing about it. The average being that it's high quality average, if that makes sense. You know, there's like a Gillies is spot on. There's just some taste that you'll never get away from, and that's that traditional beer taste. Gillies nails it, Nate. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's basically taking the standardized macro beer that we've all grown accustomed to here, really globally. I think lager is the most drank beer in the world by far. And they basically took it and they created their own path of making it with different quality ingredients. When we get into the brewery tour, we'll talk a little bit more about the ingredients they put in there. But this is a Germanic style lager. They're using German malt and hops. So you're going to get that kind of Bavarian taste out of this lager. And they crushed it. They did a great job. They don't have a brewery or a tap room. I think they're doing contract brewing. So anyway, they're making a name for themselves in Southern and Northern California. So I'm all about it. I think it's a great beer.
Awesome. Hey, Barrow, welcome to the show all the way from India. And I got to see somebody I haven't seen in so long. Uncle freaking Ed, what's up? Nate, Uncle Ed is a freaking awesome true amazing rocker. Uncle Ed is a drummer, and man, this dude, you want to talk rocker, man? What's going on, Uncle Ed?
Welcome.
He's the drum tech for Peter Criss for many years from Kiss. So anybody that travels with Kiss is definitely knows their shit. And Ed, I miss you, man. I hope you're doing well. I love the early days of Qtopia when we would sit and just hang out and talk, man. Cheers. I haven't seen you or talked to you in so long. Cheers to Uncle Ed. All right. We're drinking Gillies, Nate. We're back on the show. I'm excited. But I do want to talk about some other things that came up. And, well, I am back from Vietnam, guys. You guys remember about 3 weeks ago, we did the show from Saigon where I was there. Lisa, cheers to you. Cheers, Ed. I'm back from Vietnam. Had an amazing time. Absolutely wonderful. I hope to go back very soon within the next 6 months. It was just amazing. Nate knows about Vietnam. It's a great place, and it's changed a lot. It's definitely it's cleaned up a lot of stuff. And I made some cool videos for you guys. So I got about 4. Depends how I break them up. It might be up to 6, depending if I do a 2-part Ho Chi Minh and a 2-part Vung Tau. And basically, Nate, what I did is I just did it the old school Travel Man Dan way, where I just walked around and showed you a little bit about that city. I went to the coastal city of Vung Tau, which is a really cool place because it's right on the beach. It's right on the coastline of Vietnam, and it's on the Bay of oh shit, what the hell is it? The Bay of it's on the inner part. The Bay.
Bengal.
What is it?
Bengal.
Is it the Bay of Bengal?
I think so.
It's totally slipped my mind, but anyway, I'll give you a look at what it's like in a very local kind of coastal area, and then I give you an awesome look at Ho Chi Minh or Saigon City, and it's just it's like nothing you ever seen. And Nate, you're definitely right about the. Remember you asked me before I left about the bikes?
What about them?
Like how you walk and they just part?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And especially because I was there during 2 holidays, so the cities were very, very busy. It was really, really busy. So unbelievable time. Look for those videos. I did the banh mi sandwich. It's notorious with Vietnam, and I did like a little pho spot. And stay tuned for those Food Fridays. Looking to go back. I didn't go bananas because I plan on going back to Vietnam, so I'm going to get more as I continue going. Murph Rod's in the house. I see your mom here. Hello, Jay's hands. So stay tuned. It's good to be back. And we're drinking Gillies, Nate.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's super crisp. You can drink this any time of the year. If it's hot, drink it at home, drink it at a volleyball game, as Danny says. So that's what I like about it.
You want to go to a volleyball game, bring a 6er each of Gillies. And, dude, I love a good volleyball game, man. A beach volleyball, indoor volleyball game. Love the Jazz Hands. The Jazz Hands goes back, the origins, Nate, what? It's got to be over a year now.
Like a year and 6 months?
I think you did it inadvertently. You just kind of, you were like, hi, Mom. Yeah, thank you. You forget. How do you pronounce that, Nate?
I don't think there's a pronunciation. UFO LOGLT.
UFO Loget. UFO Loget.
UFO.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for hopping on. Like I said earlier on the show, and Nate talked about it, this is going to be our new time slot. We've gone over at 10 o'clock on Saturday, 10 o'clock on Sunday. We did some Fridays in there. Nate, we've done just about every time slot there is. And I feel like, and you feel like, Sunday night is the best time slot because people are winding down. It's a good time to just crack a beer. Maybe you're watching Sunday night football, a little baseball, and you're just winding out. Maybe you're watching it on TV. You got us on your phone, whatever, So new time slot, Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Boom.
All right, so Nate, we're going ahead and we're drinking this beer, and it's Gillies. So you said we had a little brewery tour. Can you go ahead and take us on that little brewery tour?
Here you go, guys. So Gillies, here's their website. You check out their website. There's not a whole lot on there, and I'll show a couple of pages from it when we get through the brewery tour here. But they do have an Instagram presence and a Twitter presence. They are located out of not San Marcos. I made a mistake. I don't know why I thought that, but it's San Jose, California. San Jose is just outside of the San Francisco area, outside of Napa Valley, outside of Silicon Valley. Up there in central to northern California on the coast. What is today's beer? Today's beer is Gillies American Lager. Actually, they call it Gillies Legendary American Lager. It's 4.7%. It is of the lager variety. On Untappd, you can kind of see, there's not a lot of check-ins here. There's 312. What's up, Dickie's Beer Reviews?
Dickie's Beer Reviews. What up?
On the check-ins, but the score is pretty good, 3.37, especially for a lager. This is one of those beers that's ascending. They probably just opened in the past 6 to 9 months. They're getting out there. They're going on brewery to the craft brew festivals, and they're trying to get their name out there. I'll show you a picture of that in a little bit, but this is the beer. Just pulled this right off of the website. Thanks for supporting Gillies. Here's a little bit about us. Gillies represents being epic in all we do, and that includes making beer. A beer perfect for hitting the trails, tailgating before the game, or anywhere you want to enjoy life. Gillies is a premium American craft lager. The base malt is North American, and the specialty malts are imported from Germany. There's enough spicy German Tettinger hops that added to the balance of the beer without imparting too much bitterness. The beer is fermented with a lager yeast from a village near Munich, Eyinger, and those of you in the beer community know that name, which gives it a different fermentation profile than most lagers. The beer is clean and crisp, the perfect drink for all types of beer drinkers. Danny, do you agree?
Oh man, they couldn't have hit it any more with their I don't know what you call this, their statements or their roadmap or whatever, but it's just perfect. It's exactly that. It's literally the beer that you want to drink just about anywhere. When you think beer, they do it. And then I mean, even the design of their can, and we'll get into that a little bit later, I absolutely love. It just screams to me like 70s, 80s. It's fantastic. The beer is great. Dickie's Beer Review says it sounds like a light lager. It is light at 4.7, but if you drink a six-pack of anything 4.7, you're going to feel like you got slapped, okay? We will try to get you some. I think you can get it in Las Vegas, right, Nate?
No, not yet, but they are branching out. They're reaching out to Idaho, Texas, and Nevada over the next 3 to 6 months. That's their goal distribution-wise.
Martin, what's up, my man? Nate, go back to Martin real quick. You're just joining the show. Unfortunately, the Bills suffered a loss today. So Martin, the secret little Jabba the Hutt trap door did not open up. We're drinking with the Brett and Brian today. And next week, hopefully the Bills are going to win, and I'll bust out those flumes. Dickie says, yeah, it looks like my dad's beer. Yeah, it's exactly it, right? And Nate, do you remember how beer cans used to look?
Yeah.
Like they were that weird can that it was like that weird triangle foil that you would peel back.
Yeah, my mom's going back to Pennsylvania. She's going to get us some Stegmeyer. I'm wondering if they have those old cans. But anyways, we move on with the brewery tour. Here we go. Legends aren't born; they're made. People ask, "What is Gillies?" The answer is, we are Gillies. Gillies is a persona, the legend in all of us. No matter what walk of life you come from, no matter where you're at in your journey, we all have a story to tell, and they're equally as epic. Truth be told, we have a friend named Gilly, and he calls us all legends. So we decided to turn that inspiration into a beer and a brand that stands for just that, the legend in all of us. So take us on your journey, write epic pages in your book of life, and share us and your memories with friends old and new. To our legends, among legends, grab a Gillies. I just like that. Yeah. First of all, it has a personal connection to what they're doing. I always think that's a great angle. And yeah, I like the idea that they think they're epic. There's a bit of I guess it would be, who's the guy that used to ride motor? Evel Knievel. There's an Evel Knievel vibe to this a little bit. Very patriotic, a lot of stars and stripes, red, white, and blue, and being epic. So
it's fun.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was gonna say, it's funny. You know who used to call us legendary legends? Chris, the dudes from London, Chris and those guys, and I wonder if he's a British guy.
He's not. So I met him at Beer X, but
mate, you're a legend.
Yeah. So on the left, you can see this is exactly where I met him. There's the owner right there on the left. Grab a Gillies. They had a great tent. I think we were probably, my brother and I were one of the first two people to even roll up to the tent because we saw it. And the night before we drank it, I was like, I'm going over to that guy. I want to go talk to him. And we did. And over there, have a beer. Here's just one from our Instagram page, just kind of showcasing the beer and, a little bit of Instagram representation there. So there you go, Danny. That's Gillies.
I love it, Nate. I love it, man. Couple of wasps stepping right up to the Gillies tent. I love it, man. Thank you so much, Nate. Thanks for sharing that with us. And, at this time, I'd like to say, hey, guys, I know we talk about me being in Vietnam, me having COVID and stuff like that, and I wasn't able to make it the last 2 weeks. But how about fucking Nate, man? He did the show twice solo. How about a round of applause for my man, Nate? Good job, Nate. Awesome job. I wanted to go ahead and acknowledge you. I was watching both times, so great job. Definitely held your own. You did great. I hope you guys enjoyed Nate's solo show. You can see he can handle it. He made it fun. He made it interesting. He provides value. We all definitely have our own little niches, the way that we are. But Nate, awesome job, man. Congrats, dude. That's a big step for you, bro.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to doing it. You guys let me know when.
I mean, seriously, man, because I at the very beginning, way before this, you didn't want to ever be on camera. There was a time where I actually did the beer review at your house, and me and your brother did hams and some other weird Clamato drink, and you didn't want to be anywhere near the camera. Mm-hmm. And, so you've come a long way, bro. Great job, man. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Thank you.
One thing I will say about this Gillies that I don't like, I don't know. I wanted to go ahead and showcase the glass because it was for Brett and Brian. I don't like this glass for this beer. It's not. It's like too big, right? This thing is like a party. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It seems like I'm drinking the last bit of swill on this really good beer. The Bills hurt me too. Dickie's beer review, but overall, Gillies is an awesome beer. I hope you guys like it. Let's see what else happens. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to New York Yankees baseball. Aaron Judge is on the brink of tying Roger Maris's home run record at 61 home runs. So I'm paying very close attention. I actually got the game going on right here next to me, so I wouldn't miss it for anything. He's been up, I think, 20 times since his last home run. It's pretty exciting when he hits 60. So we're really hoping that he hits 61 tonight in New York against the Red Sox. That happened. How about the Queen passing while I was out? So rest in peace, the Queen of England, Elizabeth II. So I'm sure that you guys saw over on social media somehow the ceremonies and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to watch. I mean, it was very regal and royal, and the Queen, it was really like a stoic woman, and her legacy is going to live on forever. And the fact that she was so old, it was awesome because she had been in so many decades in the limelight like that. So that happened while I was gone. What else can I say? Other than it's good to be back. I'm excited to be drinking. Gillies is what we're drinking today. Is an awesome, legendary American classic lager. It is delicious from San Jose. They're not really big, but they're still pretty good. And you know what else is good? We're bringing it back, guys. The good news, Nate. You ready for some good news?
Yes, sir.
All right. Bring it up, my friend. Good news it is. All right. Here we go. Good news. Honda to introduce 10 new electric motorcycles and scooters in Asia. All right, Honda, who created the most produced motor vehicle in history with the Super Cub scooter, is offering 10 fully new electric motorbikes to ease air pollution in Asia's mega cities. That's huge. Coming from the #1 mega city where they use the scooters, Ho Chi Minh City, I could see where this is going to be massive. scarcely understood by Americans. Why? Because we all have big cars and trucks, and we're all safely guarded from things like scooters and people. The ubiquity of Honda Motor Company's scooters and motorcycles across Asia is absolute. As entrenched as a phenomenon as the monsoon rains, through their gilding principle that the purpose of technology is to help people, they've motorized 3 generations of working poor, which they now aim to electrify. All right, between the end of 2022 and 2025, Honda plans to release 10 new electric bikes to fit all the activities their bikes nearly monopolize across Asia, where millions of people commute daily through some of the most populated urban air on Earth. For most electric mopeds and bikes capable of going up to 35 miles an hour, Honda plans to release 5 models for the Chinese, Japanese, European, and Greater Asian markets between the end of this year and 2024. That's friggin' awesome. What up, Patrick? What up, Rick Fontana? This is cool, man, because look at these bikes. You have the Bentley, the Gyro Canopy. You have the Japanese Post and the Vietnamese Post already using these electric bikes. And, as the article had mentioned, it's not really, Americans don't even stop and think about this. And if you've ever been to Asia, you know what I'm talking about. I just came from Ho Chi Minh City, and I got to tell you, it's one of the most insane places. Wait till you see the Travel Man Dan videos of these motor scooters. It is unbelievable. But the thing that's crazy is, like, it wasn't the pollution per se. Like, you don't think of it like when you see China, it's pollution from factories, right? But when you're in like Ho Chi Minh City, Nate, your throat starts to hurt. Mm-hmm. You're like, damn, do I got COVID? No, it's all the gas that you're inhaling. Like, I literally spent hours walking around Ho Chi Minh City by myself with my camera, and like you could just feel breathing in all these fumes. I know. Thank you, Rick. We'll be back, though. Like I said before, sun shines on a dog's ass. But it's just crazy because electric bikes, dude, that's the future, Nate. That's the future for everyone. I wish they would take my truck and just do it all, man. If California had electric bikes and just like subways and stuff like that, this is really going to help. Now, what this is going to do for global warming, I don't know, because it takes electricity to warm up. I don't know the whole analytics, but I can definitely tell you the gas and the smell and everything, that pollution in the air is going to be eradicated. You're shaking your bob in your head. What do you think of this good news, Nate?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Love to hear it. Anytime you're trying to look into the future and prioritize the globe, I think it's a good thing. And, we'll see how it works once they test it out there. If it works, I'm sure we'll be using it here.
Yeah, especially because, like, the thing is, like, just kick the ball. Yeah, I know, man, dude. Everyone is very down in Buffalo. But that's what I don't like about the hype, man. Not the crisscross subjects. I don't want to be all hyped up by everyone this year. Got a good team, but it takes a season to play. But yeah, awesome news. I love this, especially coming directly from Asia. About 2 weeks ago, I can see the impact on it. They're pretty stylish, Nate. Can we go back to check them out? They're pretty cool.
I would drive one.
Yeah. I mean, those are really neat. I like both versions, or all 3 versions of them. They're all pretty neat. One of the things you'll see in some of my videos is how many people sit on these Vespas. You'll see families in Vietnam of like 3, 4, 5 people sometimes on one little scooter.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good stuff. But anyway, that's today's good news. I hope that you enjoyed it. I admire the idea of electric vehicles with technology. So you're trading one. Yeah, exactly. That was my point, Mike. Yeah. You're basically trading one form of pollution to another, and I think that's definitely accurate to say. But hey, Nate, we're drinking Gillies. It is a lager. It is delicious. Let's go ahead. Let's whack this sucker down and give it a score.
Boom.
So good, Nate.
It is a good beer.
It is really just a good beer. I don't know what their distribution is. If you're going to be able to get it very easily, but it's pretty good. So, guys, we're going to get into the Gillies. We're going to go ahead and score it. Taste. one of my favorite beers immediately. I love the lager taste. I love the comfort of it. I love that it tastes like, if you will, beer. Okay, it just tastes like beer. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 4.5. I like it that much.
I'm going to give it a 4.0. Really good lager. I wish there was more like it.
Nice. All right, let's go to the price. Nate, this wasn't that expensive. I think it was $9.99 for a 6-pack.
I think it was $10.99 for a 6-pack.
$10.99, $11. Let's say $12. You're looking at about $1.85 to $2 a can. I think it's pretty good, especially for a good beer. I'm giving it a score of a 4.0.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3.5. It's pretty comparable to the macros of the lager variety, so it's not going to hurt my feelings. 3.5.
Hey, Stuart, thank you so much. Good to be back, man. Thank you. All right, let's go to design. I love this design. Nate, to me, it's something about the design with the way the fonts are. I love that it looks like an old school basement beer. It just got that look. I think it's an awesome looking can. I'm giving it a score of a 4.5. I think this is a great looking can. When you first showed it to me, I was like, oh man, that's just cool.
Yeah, I'm going to 5.0. It does everything I asked for it to do. It looks like a lager. It's simple. It's red, white, and blue, and it tells a story. 5.0.
Are you going to read us the story real quick? You usually like to read the story.
I think this is what I read from the website.
Oh.
All right, here we go. It doesn't actually.
Doug. Doug, I'm sorry.
Koozies, and that's definitely not on the website. So, is your hand worthy of the legendary beer it holds? Prove it. An American lager this crushable doesn't come along every day. This lager makes other beers shake in their koozies. A beer built to prove a point. This beer doesn't suck. This beer does good. For every can purchase, a percentage of legendary lager profits will be donated to a clean water nonprofit that provides aid to help end global water and sanitation crisis.
Dude, it's my beer. It's totally my beer, Nate. I love it. Doug Wilson said the Bills will survive. Danny, I'm not worried. Yeah, me too, Doug. It was sad. Doug's a guy I watched the Bills game with. I'll be bringing Doug some Gillies next week. Yeah. All right, so the next one. We've gone back and forth with this. We called it accessibility for about a year and a half. Nate broke the news and was calling it, what were you calling it, Nate?
Notoriety. Well,
notoriety.
Adding notoriety to the accessibility.
Adding notoriety to the accessibility. So we just felt like, looking at this category, it's one thing to say that a beer is very popular and you can get it everywhere. But it's another thing to say, well, I've heard about that beer, so it has a lot of notoriety, but you just can't get it anywhere. So it's almost like that should be good. So this is a combined score, and we're going to call this category from now on. Ready, Ray? Drum roll, Nathan.
Popularity.
There it is. All right. A couple of two genius minds came up with this. We're just going to call it popularity because we feel like it's just not fair to call it accessible or notable. Notable. Where am I? Notoriety. I was going to get one. But hey, guys, popularity. Look, this beer is not very popular. It's not even talked about that much. So that's going to strike it. You can't get it a lot of places. That's going to hurt it. But I'm going to give it a 2.5.
So it's a tricky score because of course they're not popular. They're starting. However, when I asked somebody what is a new buzzworthy beer that I can drink in a bodega, and they gave me that tells me something. Then I see them at a Beer X where there's, 30, 35 vendors from the local markets, and that's one of them. Something's happening. So while I can't give them a 5.0 or a 4.0 because they just don't have the prowess, but they are popular within their small segment, and that's as far as you can expect from them. 3.0.
Nice. All right, TMD X Factor. Guys, look, I love everything about it. It's starting with the taste. The can is bitching. It's got a little statement that says that each donation, each time you buy it, a donation goes to help the water supply. You know, I was with the water and sanitation and the Peace Corps. I think that holds dear to my heart because we take it for granted that we can get good, clean water here in the United States, but other countries, pretty much the continent of Africa, doesn't always have that. Hopefully they're helping out. I love everything about this beer. I love that it's new on the scene. You're going to love it. 5.0.
I'm going to go 4.0. I really like that they're kind of trying to, they're not going into a hazy, an IPA. It's not an ale. They're giving us something a little bit different, lager, Pilsner style beer. That's what we grew up drinking. That's what they're trying to perfect. I appreciate that. 4.0.
Very nice. Very nice. Wow, we got a big score, Nate. We got a big score here. All right, guys, today I scored the Gillies just from my heart. Good to be back drinking. Gillies got a 20.5. Awesome. Yeah, 19.5 for Nate. Very good score. Very good beer. If you see this beer, please pick it up. You're going to absolutely love it. It's one of the tastiest new beers on the market. Doug, I'm going to bring you some if you're still there next week when the Bills hammer down on the Ravens. And, well, awesome, Nate. So I'm going to put away the Brett and Brian for a little bit. Okay, we're gonna get to that in a later date when we have an old schlabberknocker going on. But Nate, it's time for the second beer. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, I am pumped up about this one because this one also hails in the same category of what today's show is. It's kind of like a battle. What'd you call it? A battle of, Nate?
Battle series.
The battle series. I love it. Okay, so Nate, why don't you go ahead and introduce it? Don't mind my pajamas. I'm still getting over COVID. They are Bill's pajamas. I got to get the other glass.
All right, guys. So while Danny goes and gets the other glass, we first started with the legendary American lager from Gillies. For this beer, it comes and hails out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've recently done a few beers from the Oklahoma market on our Battle Oklahoma series. And this one is called This Land. It comes from a brewing company called Marshall Brewing, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at that buffalo on there. Danny, of course, coming from Buffalo, New York. There's some sentimentality here. It is a Helles-style lager, which, for those of you out there that don't know, it's a German lager, very similar to the Gillies, that's using a Germanic approach to brewing that lager of German hops and German yeast. This, being a Helles, is going to be very, very similar. I would imagine it to be slightly less boozy, but we're going to see when we crack it, smell it, taste it. Danny, that is your beer. The second beer, This Land Lager.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From the New York City down to Florida. Nate likes Ron DeSantis. Oh, so does everybody else.
Ron DeSantis.
I was watching a Miami feed today, and I got to tell you, it's funny when you watch those local feeds between the car commercials and the political, campaigning that goes on. It's pretty awesome, actually. I love it. We don't get a lot of that in LA, but well, anyway, no, we're not going to get political here. This is what we're drinking. Nate, you ready to go ahead and crack it, sniff it, taste it? I'm thinking this is going to be darker. I don't know why, Nate. I just feel like it's going to be a darker.
It's going to be straw color.
Straw?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have my 100% smell back, so you're going to have to walk me through this. Oh, you're not even
yeah, I mean, it smells like a Gillies. It smells like a lager. There's not a ton on the nose. It's super subtle, grassy a little bit. It smells like a Bud Light, to be honest with you.
All right, well, let's go ahead and pour it. I'll give you a look. Going with that hard pour again.
Very effervescent.
Oh, fuck. And it's a spillage. See, that's why I don't like the hard pour. Hey, remember Andy from The Office? Hey, guy, what can I get you? I was doing just fine pouring whatever. That's one of my favorite episodes when he's the bartender. All right, so, yeah, Nate's exactly right. It is very straw-colored looking. It's a very lager. I got about a half and half in there. That looks like vanilla cream. Taking a look, this beer is what, 4.8%, so a point
a hundredth of a point.
Yeah, a hundredth of a point stronger than the last beer. Not bad.
It's a tenth. Anyway, but there is a bit of haze in this compared to the Gillies. You know, there's a bit of cloudiness to this beer, just from the look.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I can't see anything because I create this friggin' milkshake. But look at this thing. Cool. Yeah, Damien, that's a good point. This is the cool can episode. I like the can myself.
Me too. Can's cool.
There's something about it that reminds me of, like, I don't know, Old Navy. I feel like it's like a print that you would see at Old Navy or Target, but I still kind of like it. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I like the colors. Definitely like the Buffalo. Aaron Judge just hits. What did he hit? Another base hit?
I do not want him to break the record.
Why?
Because he's a Yankee.
What record do you consider it?
What is I don't understand. What do you mean?
So there's been a lot of discussion if you've watched Aaron Judge and the Yankees as of the last 2 weeks. There's some baseball enthusiasts that still give the Roger Maris the ultimate home run record. But we all know Barry Bonds is the record is 73.
All right, it's up against Barry Bonds. They're ridiculous and old.
What's that?
I said the people that think that are ridiculous and old.
Yeah, they're purists, brother. Now you are feeling nice and toasty. No, not really. No, you know, that's one of the reasons why we chose these lighter lagers. Was you know, I'm not bouncing back 100% from COVID. Still got some stuff I got to get through. But hey, here it is, Nate. Let's go ahead and try out the Marshall's This Land Lager. Cheers.
Cheers.
Not bad. Not bad.
There's a difference in the hops.
Yeah, there's a weird taste to it that I can't put on. It's not as cool and clean. It's not as grassy as the Gillies, but still, it's light. It's refreshing. It's got a good taste. Non-steroids record. Okay, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Not
Maybe
bad.
We'll be taking steroids.
Who, you?
All of us. If we were in the major leagues, I'd want to take steroids. That's for sure.
Well, it depends. I mean, there's been some debate. That was during like the whole androstenine. There's
I want people to their highest ability. I don't care if they use performance enhancing anything. Let everybody have the opportunity to do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to.
Well, it's different. For me, baseball is not a problem. I actually don't mind it either. You're not punching anybody in the face, and you're not tackling anybody.
Right.
There is a component to if you're taking, but typically during that era, you had a few guys that were juicing, and they let it go because it was the baseball was through the roof marketing wise. But then the other guys that were using PEDs, and a lot of guys that use it are guys like Jamie Moyer that were just old. And they were using it for recovery and things like this. And like, listen, if you can make your career last an extra 4 years, that might be the difference between.
Wasn't he using human growth hormone versus steroids?
Well, it's pretty much to say that PEDs they all file into the same category.
Wasn't there a difference between like what's the name of some of those steroids?
There's anabolic steroids. Yeah, that's the stuff that Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, Palmeiro allegedly were taking to get jacked. The other half of it was guys that were taking stuff to heal them from injuries and stuff like that. But like I said, if your career is prolonged, and even at the base minimum of $700,000, and you played extra 4 years, do the math. Who couldn't use $3 million? You know what I mean? Like that's a huge thing for those guys. And anyway, we can go on and on. We're talking about this beer. This is what we're drinking. It's called This Land. It's delicious. Really enjoying it. First bit, lagers. is the lager series? If you don't know what a lager is, I know somebody that knows or is going to tell us all about it, and his name is Nate Lagerton. So Nate Lagerton, and Nate knows, what is a lager?
Yeah, so since we were doing a battle series on a particular style of beer, just so you guys know, moving forward, the battle series can be about a particular state, a particular city, a particular style of beer, a particular brewery. We might go into Heady Topper and say we want to do Alchemist and do the Heady Topper versus the Focal Banger, right? So be on the lookout for the battle series. Today's series is about lager. What is a lager? Lager is probably the most common type of beer in the world. The bottom fermented techniques used to brew it result in a crisp, refreshing beer, though it's a surprisingly diverse group. Lagers include many of America's famous beers, including Budweiser, Busch Light, Coors, Miller Genuine Draft, and PBR. The style goes far beyond those big names and includes all of the great Bavarian Pilsners, as well as Box, Dunkels, and Oktoberfest. So right now, a lot of the beers that they're drinking in Oktoberfest in Munchen or in Munich are going to be of the lager variety. Not a lot of ales. So again, we have two different categories of beers. On the left, those are ales. They're fermented at warmer temperatures from the top going down. There's more of a yeast-derived flavor. You can definitely taste that when you try the beers. Yeast flavors help provide a fruity flavors, also known as esters, that you taste in ale. But on the lager side of it, lagers ferment at cooler temperatures, typically from the bottom up, which creates a much cleaner beer. This allows you to taste the malt and hops more explicitly. I completely agree with this. You can kind of see both sides of it when you're drinking a lager. Flavors vary based upon the type of malt and variety of hops that are used.
Hey, Mike, Mikey's Kitchen says, I love the Nate information section. Mike, that's because Nate fucking knows.
Now, if we're going to talk about beers that fall into that category, here's a pretty good list of them. You've got Yuengling Lager from my home state of Pennsylvania, Coors, Brooklyn Lager, PBR, Rainier, that's from Seattle, Lone Star from Texas, Miller Lite from Wisconsin, Budweiser from Missouri, Samuel Adams from Massachusetts, Genesee from upstate New York, Yuengling from Pennsylvania, Busch Light. I don't know where Busch is from.
Busch beer?
It's got to be Milwaukee.
No, it's Anheuser.
Yeah, but is that the original? Wasn't it bought out a long time ago? And then it's the originality from Busch. I don't think is that St. Louis.
Hold on a minute. I got a can right here.
Nate, wiki.
Busch beer, Natepedia.
Well, now you can the can because the can's going to say St. Louis, Missouri. I'm talking originally.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, it's a lager. So those are the lagers. That's the point, right? Lagers are the most drunk beer in the world. And Busch from Mike is Anheuser-Busch. So there you go. Boom.
Awesome. All right. Well, the Busch beer, always a fun stuff. Did we review it? Yeah, I think we did, right?
I have not reviewed Busch beer. I know that Busch Apple Crisp is quite popular right now. Maybe it's something we should review.
Huh. Well, we got all these pumpkin Halloween beers. Next week, I think we're going to close out. We're going to close out the show with some Oktoberfest beers. We had some stuff planned, but I went on vacation and then I got sick. So, we're dealing with it. Nate knows all about lagers. Thank you, Nate, for sharing that information with us. It's definitely helpful. And like I said, if you ever wonder, you can always go back to this timestamp, check it out, refresh yourself. But right now we're drinking this one. It's from Marshall Brewing. It is called This Land. Badass buffalo looking can. Okay, love that. All right. What do you got there, Nate?
So since we're talking about lagers, I wanted to bring up, now this article is from back in 2021, but we're still in 2022. And I thought that it was still a good conversation point, which is the 13 best lagers to drink in the year of 2022. We are still in that year. I'm not going to read through all this stuff, but essentially they talk about everybody's drinking IPAs, but the most popular beer in the world is the lager. So even though that the IPA world, especially in the craft beer world, people kind of gravitate towards it, don't forget about the lager. So the best overall lager, hold on 1 second. I got to fix something here quickly. Here we go. The best overall lager is Firestone Walker's Brewing Pivo Pilsner.
Wow, I've never seen that one.
So I think we should try to get our hands on this, Danny. It's based out of California, ABV of 5.3%. Citrus, lemongrass, floral. Sounds pretty good to me. Best American lager, Coors Banquet. I've been pumping this for years. The Banquet beer is the best of the American macro. Best German from Helles Lager beer is the Schlenkerla. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that properly, but that is a classic beer. You can find it in a Total Wine near you if you are near one. It's from Germany.
Smoky, crispy.
The best light is Miller Lite. Not a fan of Miller Lite. I think it tastes like the inside of a tuna can, but that's just me. It's based out of Wisconsin, 4.2%. So we had someone comment earlier that 4.7% was light. I don't agree. I think from a lager perspective, you can get really down to the 3.9, 4%, whereas a 4.7 is probably towards the middle of the range. Best Belgian lager is Idle Days Pilsner from Omegang. Danny and I have also reviewed an Omegang before.
Omegang, Cooperstown, New York.
Best dark lager from New Belgium is the 1554 Enlightened Dark Ale at 6%. That's going to be on the heavier, and of course on the maltier, a little bit darker in color. Best
Damien says so sad. Damien says so satisfying. I gotta disagree, Damien.
Best hoppy lager is the Victoria Prima Pilsner from Victory from Pennsylvania. They are notorious and popular over their Golden Monkey Sour. Or no, I think
that's Victor. They're in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, that's a Tripel, actually, now that I think about it.
Wow.
Best strong lager from Schneider Aventinus.
Oh, I have one of those in the fridge.
The Eisbock, which means ice, literally ICE, ice beer. It is brewed a different particular way. It will tend to have more of the stone fruit kind of profile to it, or as you can see here, dark fruit, cloves, and sherry. It's kind of almost like a port, but not really. But the Eisbock, I've tried one.
Is that it?
Icelandic version. Yes, that is it.
Nice.
Best Pilsner. And I think Danny and I have reviewed this on the show, which is the Pilsner Urquell from the Czech Republic. This is the OG.
Wait, I thought we were talking lagers.
Yeah, Pilsner is a form of a lager. We'll get them there, guys. But herbal, spicy, elegant bitterness. Danny, did you like this beer? I love it.
Hey, buddy, I heard that. I love Pilsner Urquell.
It's a good beer.
Love it.
It's legit. I think we should try. So have you ever seen the Budweiser version of this kind of floating around online, Danny?
I saw it in Vietnam, and I just got too wrapped up. I wasn't able to bring some home. The Czech beer of Budweiser, yeah.
I think it's called, is it still called Budweiser?
It's spelled something different. It's spelled
like R or something like that.
Yeah, Bushweiser. I saw it. I think I took a picture of it, and yeah, I was unable to secure some to bring some home. I thought I was going to. I was just running like crazy, but like I said, I'll probably be going back. So we'll see if I can bring some back.
Essentially, guys, what that is a Bavarian style. I think somebody can please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a Bavarian style Budweiser lager that is quite popular in New York. In Europe. You can get it in the States, but you'd have to likely get it in a specialty store. So best Pilsner Urquell. Danny and I both tried it. I love this beer. I think it's great. Best amber lager, Danny, is the Great Lakes Elliott Ness.
I don't know if I've ever had that one.
That's kind of your region, right? Even though it's Northern Ohio, you guys are all kind of connected by the Great Lakes there.
Yeah, we get a lot of the Great Lakes. They're from Cleveland.
Best Helles, and this is what we're drinking is a Helles.
I've drank a lot of Spaten in my day.
You have?
Oh yeah.
I've never had it.
There used to be this guy that come in and his face was all beat up, his nose was all red. He would come into the beer distributor. You have any more spotting? And he would say it all the time like that. You have any more spotting? And we're like, yeah, man, there's plenty of it. So then we all tried it. And then and along with the next beer coming, these two, Spaten, Narragansett, they're all classic beers.
The best craft lager is one of my favorite beers, which we have not yet reviewed, and we've got a couple. We're not going to drop the lead here, but we got a Battle of Narragansett coming up. And one of those that I have here is the lager, sold on merit, made on honor. Narragansett is clearly one of the best breweries in America when it comes to traditional standard beer.
Sounds like a porno.
And here we go. The best Mexican is the Bohemia Classica. Danny, have you had that?
Yeah, not interested.
No? Not your thing? There we go, guys. There is the top 13 lagers to try.
Let me see those shoes. No.
20 to wear?
The shoes. I'm good. I don't want to see those shoes. I hate shoes these days. They should all be high tops. All right, let's get into what Mikey says. That you guys have seen those Budweiser Prohibition Limited Run. Have you seen those, Nate?
Prohibition. No, I have not.
They took a recipe right from before the Volstead Act and took effect and reproduced a small batch of it in October. I haven't seen that. Take the kids down, Rosh Hashanah. Elliot Niss is outstanding. Okay.
We got a guy who knows in the Midwest out of Chicago, Dave Z, here in front. Dave, we're going to give that a shot. Maybe the next time we're on the show. Dude, we got to do our shirt reveal, by the way.
Well, he's talking about Elliot Ness, and Mike's talking about Volstead Act. It's like Prohibition all over again today on the show. Good to be back, guys. Nate's not really into it. He just nods. This is what we're drinking. It's the Marshall Brewing Company. This Land Lager. It's pretty damn good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being back on. If you just heard, I'll let you. If you haven't heard, we're going to be going on at every Sunday at 5 p.m. So this is the new time slot, 5 p.m. I'm really liking it. It kind of sets the tone, lets you go to bed, get started. It's also in the evening. Before it was a little harder. You know, you guys don't understand about the stuff that goes on during the daytime. Once you're doing the show and stuff like that, you have to prepare the night before, plus the daytime shot. And if you got a family and kids like Nate does, it could be a real hassle. So this is the spot, guys. We have Omega 69 for a good time. You can find your love squirts into an envelope. Okay, not sure what the hell that even means. But they disappeared. 99 fellas, much peace and love. Beer to you, Lisa. Here we go, guys. It's time for everybody's favorite segment, guys. Nate, you ready for this segment?
Let's do it.
I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Get you ready. Sit down. Be awesome. Go ahead and let me know in the comments now. Let me know after the show. But now it's time for What Would You Rather? Let's get it on, Nate. What would you rather? This time worked for me. Let me know. Dave, we're going to bring you back on the show real soon. I'm thinking sometime in October, 100%. What do you think, Nate?
Let's do it.
I miss Dave's voice. He'll lull you to sleep talking about beer. It's awesome.
Week's beer in front.
No, when I'm driving over the freeway in LA and it's like so packed and everything's crazy and there's those 6 lanes of cars and traffic, you just put on a little beer in front podcast. I'm Dave Sadaliatorius with beer in front.
From your past.
And dude, and it's you jag off, and everything seems to just ease away. Hey, how you doing, huh? All right, so what would you rather? Okay, guys, I'm going to give you a ticket. Where you want to go? You can go to one of these 2 places. Guys, one of these 2 places could be the best place in the world to you. But what would you rather go see? Number 1, would you rather go to the Midwest, baby? Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where the Marshall Brewing Company is. Look at that. That's a pretty looking city. Not a very big city, but it's got a couple of highways going over the waterfront. It's definitely very green. You can see if you love spot and you like bitter and very hoppy. If you get outside the city area, you can see it gets very flat. Nate, can you go ahead and show me another picture of Tulsa, Oklahoma? Maybe at the nighttime. Look at that. Okay, very cool. One thing that is really neat about Tulsa, Oklahoma is it's part of the historic Route 66. So if that's your thing, that's there. You can go check that out. A lot of people like that. It was a very famous road in the United States that connected, I believe it was New York with Los Angeles, was it? No, Chicago with Los Angeles.
Are you talking about the Route 66?
Yeah, like what exactly is it?
I don't know what the whole corridor is, but I know it's down here in the Southwest too. It goes through like Kingman, Arizona.
Yeah, it was the connection between the South and the North, and the West, or something. So, I don't know. It was one of the great roads in America.
Read a Kerouac book. I'm sure he talks about it.
Yeah, you got to go. Well, it was more of a beatnik train jumper, but you got to basically look back about 50, 60 years when driving across the country was still really new, and Route 66 was one road where you could travel. Okay, would you rather go there or would you rather Chicago to LA? Yeah, I knew it was that. There it is, Chicago to LA, according to the song. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, it was the Midwest connected with the West, so that's pretty cool. All right, so the next one going on with would you rather go to San Jose, California? Look at that little mini San Francisco. He gives the thumbs down right away. All right, doesn't like the Lego look. Definitely a bigger city. It's got more technology going on. Give me another look at that sweet city in the north. You can see you got San Jose State, where the football stadium was pretty cool. Almost looks like Hawaii. But check that out. Look at the picture. Imagine your apartment. You got the green, sunny, and then the snow. That's pretty cool in Northern California. And you got the Bay Area. Xi Jinping says San Jose, not too bad. Okay. That one for me, I like Oklahoma a lot, but one of the strange things that eluded me is I don't think I've ever spent much time in San Jose. I've drove through it, but I never really spent much time in it. And one thing that I really, really want to go to is a San Jose Sharks game. They're supposed to have one of the most rabid fan bases in all of NHL and of all of sports. They do this crazy thing where they blink all the lights and everything. It's just a really great experience. I would want to see it. Plus, if you're in San Jose, you can check out the very home of Steve Jobs and the Apple and the Google and the HP museum. They're like houses where they started them. What are you giggling about there?
Nothing. You keep going.
No. So if you're interested in that, that would definitely be something to see. But I would go to San Jose.
San Jose?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do Tulsa. California, I live right on the border. I get it. I get all of it. Up and down the coast. Give me Tulsa, Oklahoma.
He's not interested. Route 66 brings you from the East Coast to the West Coast. Nice. Okay. All right. Going with West Coast.
East Coast or Midwest to the West Coast?
I don't know if it goes.
I don't think 66 is from the east to the west.
No, I think what Doug was referring to was Route 66, the song, refers to going from Chicago to LA, but there is parts of it that connect from the East Coast that can lead to Chicago. I think that's what it is. Route 60, East Coast. I think that's where it is. We got to do a separate episode on that for Travelman Dan. All right, going on with the next one. Guys, whose career would you rather have? Okay, I'm talking about country singer from Tulsa, Oklahoma, born and raised, Garth Brooks. Blaming all on my roots when I showed up in boots. And I learned that this is a black tire affair. All right, and country western singer, mega superstar, world renowned, or I'm talking about San Jose's own Nikki Sixx, baby. Look at this dude. Motley friggin' Crue. All right, Nikki Sixx is awesome. Back in the 80s, the hair bands to me, if you look at the picture to your left, our right, I I don't know, man. That looked cool, But nowadays, if you see Nikki Sixx, he's still sporting that hair.
These guys
we're,
are
not,
cool, by the
we're
way.
not talking about look. I gotta say, the hair rocker look might be
The
between
fucking
that
worst.
and the hood guy that wears his pants down where they're falling down with his belt and they're like below his ass line. Probably the two worst looks you could ever look like. The hair is just ridiculous, especially when they're older. But if I could pick a career and we're talking music, I'm going Motley Crue, Nikki Sixx, baby. Hell yeah.
Man, I don't know. I got to go Garth Brooks.
What?
I mean, yeah, these guys, big hair bands in the 80s are probably one of the most overly glorified versions of, no way to you, but to me, one of the most overly glorified, worst styles of music of all time. There's a lot of stuff that I like from it, but by and large, those guys on the right are dweebs.
No, dude.
They're
You gotta look at
all right, look at them. They look ridiculous.
I mean, they look ridiculous.
Oh, exactly. So if we're talking preference, give me the guy who's less ridiculous. More like an out of shape third baseman.
No, dude, this is give me the ridiculous. Come on, feel the noise. And it's Motley Crue is awesome, dude. The more no, Madonna. No, if you can get past that, this guy's trying to look like skeleton.
You can't get past that. That's the point. You showed us the picture. How can you get past it?
Dude, they were awesome.
They're in fucking heels.
They were
ridiculous.
Dude, Nikki Sixx looks like Karen at
want to be wrestlers. Damien's got it right. They look like four assholes.
He looks like Karen at Walmart. That there's that certain what do they call it? The mom Disney cut.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Anyway, I'm going Motley Crue.
All right, I'm going Garth Brooks.
Going on with the next one. Mike said for the steaks he would go there, but guys, I'm talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma for the chicken fried steak. Okay, look at that. If you don't know what that is, it's a mashed up piece of chicken fried, and then it's got that thick gravy with pork on it. It's
beef,
got
it's not chicken.
That?
It's beef.
Are you sure?
Yeah, chicken fried steak is beef, but fried like a chicken.
Ooh. I was this year
fried steak, not steak fried chicken.
I was this year's old when I realized that chicken fried steak was beef. Oh, we got him to laugh, folks. All right, glad it was on me. Good to see you laughing, Nate. All right, well, listen, whatever the hell that is, if it's beef, chicken, but it's actually beef, so I'm just trying to cover up. I'm an asshole. You got that from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which they're famous for, or this thing from San Jose. Okay, it's a very special meal. It's from Claric Medano, platter of chicharrones and sides. All right, what you got there is some yuca, some chicharron, which is fried piglets, belly fat.
What are you saying? What is fried what? Piglets?
Yeah, what is it? Fried pigs.
Well, oh, man, I fucking love it. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Piglet sounds like that little cartoon or the character from Winnie the Pooh.
That's what it is. Listen, chicharrones is chopped up fat pig pork belly, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, those little things look like piglets. You got the yuca, and then you have the tortilla. But I've eaten country fried steak many times. I had no idea I wasn't eating chicken. But I'm going with the piglets there, the platter of chicharrones. That thing looks awesome.
Chicharrones over the country fried chicken fried steak?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got to agree with you here. So really it comes down to the protein with a sour kind of salty element to it versus the protein on the other one, which is just doubled down with richness and fat. So give me something that's got a little bit of the lime cutting through it. I'll take the chicharrones.
Okay. All right, going with question number 5. Would you rather have a job in? This is your job for 30 plus years. You're either working in the oil fields in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There he is. That guy looks like Nate Hong Kong style with a beard. Okay, he's working on the oil rig. Give him another look. Nice, hardy, blue-collar, roughneck job. Not easy work at all. But you're outside. You're working with your hands, so to speak. Or would you prefer to be in this circle of people? All right, and laying on a sofa somewhere. First of all, I would yell at those. I would yell at 2 of those people right away. What?
I hate them.
I hate them. All right, you're a tech worker. 3 of them I don't understand because one's wearing a full-on winter jacket. All right, the one with the emo cut, and the other 2 blatantly just don't give a shit about furniture and manners, and they got their feet with their sneakers on the couch. But this isn't about the people in the picture. Go ahead and show us another picture, Nate. This is what it's like. Okay, there it is. That's like working at the tech people. I don't know, man. I like to think I like to work in an office, but I don't think I could work in either one of those settings. I work in an office as it is, but it's a construction sweat setting, and you hear a lot of fucks, a lot of fuck yous, a lot of really dirty language, and you get to go out to the field and work on construction sites. I'm going with the oil worker.
Yeah, I would hope so. You would ever pass up working with this guy for working with these 4? I got a fucking problem with you. These guys sound like their opinions all weigh too much in their heads, but these guys look like they can crack open a fucking Gillies at the end of the day and see who can shotgun it faster. All day long, oil workers, these 4 can get the fuck out of here.
No, you're getting the wrong impression, but I really don't like that they just nonchalantly are wearing their sneakers on the furniture.
I hate you. I hate you 4. I want you to know.
Right, moving on, guys. We're not going to go disgusting because I still got COVID. Maybe we're gonna ease into this one and look at it. Got to have a beard here, man.
Hold on. Can we talk about this picture first? We get the guy. Who's your favorite guy? Is it the guy who looks exactly like the other guy? They all look the same. Terrible beards, super skinny, Oxford shirts that probably haven't been washed in 3 weeks. They've got a little bit of money, don't know how to spend it. That's them.
Oh, man. I mean, I was going to say I like the guy that looks like my friend Blake. But
Blake into that conversation as well.
Those guys don't bother me one bit. They don't bother me one bit, tech people. All right, going on to the next one, Nate. You just alluded to it. We're not going gross, but where would you rather go? I'm going to give you another ticket. Would you rather have dinner on top of the Eiffel Tower? Okay, you're in that little poppy doo thing. You're on top there. You're enjoying yourself dinner. Or would you rather have a picnic lunch inside the Coliseum? All right, that one's a no-brainer for me. We all know what the Coliseum looks like on the outside. This is what it looks like on the inside. I've been to the Coliseum. It's awesome. It's very, very cool to see with real life. And when you're there, it's magnifying like how just glorious it looks. But I like dinner better. And, I'm going to go with dinner on the Eiffel Tower. Never been there. Would want to go see that.
I like dinner better. What's being served in the Coliseum? Is it breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Squared pizza. This is chef.
All right, I'm gonna agree with you then, because you know what? It looks dusty down there in that thing. So whatever you're eating, I think is going to be covered with dust. I'm going to go Eiffel Tower. It seems romantic and more appropriate for dinner. So I agree.
All right. Well, let's just take the dust factor out of it.
Hey, that's part of the story, right?
Good observation. You wouldn't want to get dust on your pizza. Hey, guys, moving right along. That's What Would You Rather. We're drinking this. The Marshall, this land, as annoying as they are, I'm more of an office person. So tech worker for Mikey. All right. Want to go to the bar with the oil guys?
Bar with the oil guys, though, right? That's kind of my point,
Well, let's go ahead and whack this sucker down, Nate. Cheers to you, and then we'll go ahead and score it. We got a rain delay in New York. All right, this land taste was great. I think it's a really well-deserved lager. I think it's a craft lager, so it's a little bit better than what we were brought up on. I think it's overall a great taste. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of 3.5.
Yeah, I'm doing a 3.5 as well. I like it. It's really good. The lager style itself isn't going to give you anything other than, for something at this level, you're not going to find much that's that much better. 3.5.
All right, price. I don't know. Nate, you sent this to me. How much was it?
This was $1.79 for one 12-ounce can.
Not bad at all. It's a little bit better than the other Gillies. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 4.0 as well. That's a good price point.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as the other one, so I'm going to give it the same score, 3.5.
All right, let's go to design. Nate, I love the design. I love the colors. I love the font, and I love that it has a bison, or sometimes referred to as a buffalo, synonymous with the city of Buffalo. One day I'm going to take that and smack that right on my forearm, let everyone know where I'm from. I think it's cool. I think they offer a lot. They don't offer a story like Nate likes, but they give me enough. I'm okay with that. I'm going to give it a score of 3.5. I think it's a cool cover.
Yeah, I'm doing 3.5. You know what? Doing 3.0. Last second change. No story. I do like the color palette. I do like that it's not a sticker, and I like the buffalo, so they get some scores there. They don't tell the story. It's kind of hard to find the ABV. I don't know. Overall, the font's not my favorite thing. 3.0.
Perfect. All right, let's go to popularity. Look, I don't know how popular this beer is. I don't know where you're going to be able to get it. Probably not a lot of places. What's that?
So I can shed some light. So on Untappd, this beer had 2.2 thousand check-ins, Danny. And if you were to kind of compare this to Cabin Boys, which has got a pretty good presence in Tulsa, Oklahoma, their flagship is at 2.3. So I think within their community, they're pretty popular.
All right, so pretty popular within their community, just not accessible worldwide. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 3.0.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of agree with it. I'm going to do a 2.5. I'm going to just slide down slightly lower than Danny's, but for the same reason. They have some notoriety and popularity within their local market. They obviously don't have distribution, but that's them just growing. So 2.5.
Nutmeg to palmetto. Hello, I'm a little late. No, you are not. You are right on time. All right, going with the TMD X Factor, Nate. Look, I think it's a great beer. I like these craft lagers. I think that the lager place is definitely growing, and I think that it's okay to go into a place and order a craft lager as opposed to, oh, I got to have a stout or I got to have a cherry bomb marshmallow chocolate thingy. I think this is really good. I give it a score of a 4.0.
Yeah, so for the X Factor, I'm going 3.5. Much for what Danny was talking about. Like, it's a lager, so it's a standard kind of beer. We did get this from Ken, by the way, Danny, so we can throw that into the X Factor there, so it gets a little bit of weight from me. This is a family friend that provided the beer for us that lives in Oklahoma. But for me, overall, 3.5. It's a solid beer, and I'm pretty happy to drink it.
I did not know that, but thank you to Ken. Thank you so much for sending us. All right, it is in. The verdict is here. This land got a score of an 18. So the winner of today's lager show between Gillies and Marshall's Brewing. Nate, you gave it a 16?
Yep. So 18 and a half. I'm sorry, 19 and a half, and then a 16. So that is.
So both of us, the winners are
Gillies.
Drink your Gillies. Craft lagers and pilsners are definitely coming around by the micros. The options for the style are no longer big box brands. I
exactly.
like that.
So Danny, I don't know if you're noticing this, but lagers, pilsners, golden ales, blonde ales, they are absolutely becoming a dominant force within the craft beer community because people are a little bit tired of imperial sours and kettle sours and stouts and things, particularly IPA. So it's nice to see a comeback of the traditional beer.
Absolutely. Probably getting smashed off IPAs way too many times too. Like
Yep.
You drink three beers, you're punished, man. But hey, Nate, great job. It's time to go to what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Here is the die. I've been doing a lot of watching, so I hope it lands on 2, and it does. No bullshit, no cap. There it is. What'd you get, Nate?
3, listening to.
All right, 2. What am I watching? I busted out the old Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney. During COVID, I just sat around and watched a lot of Disney, a lot of, I try not to watch a lot of violence and things like that when I'm sick or hurt or whatever, because it does have an effect on your brain. So I started watching a lot of the Star Wars, and I got into the Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you haven't seen it, it's awesome. I know there is violence in it, but the stormtroopers are weak anyway. They're just going to get slashed right away. But it was the return of Darth Vader. I thought the writing was good. I thought Ewan McGregor plays the best Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think, because I watched the 3 prequels before that, and I was not impressed again with Hayden Christensen's job. Just weird Star Wars, talking about the Senate and the Parliament and all these weird politics and stuff. It was nice to see Obi-Wan get to that old-fashioned Star Wars feel. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Nate, what are you listening to?
I am listening to Ill Communication. Danny, do you know whose album that is and what year?
Beastie Boys, 1992.
1994. Very nice try, Travel Man Dan. But for those of you who've never listened to it before, this is it. Ill Communication, Beastie Boys. I think at this point I was a freshman in high school. Sabotage was the big song from this album, as well as Sure Shot and Get It Together. I'm pretty sure the person that Q-Tip was on this album with Beastie Boys. So that's what I'm listening to.
Okay, bringing it back. I was a junior going into my senior year of high school when that was out. I remember that.
Great album.
Good album. Good album. All right, Nate, the quote of the week comes to us from the Queen Elizabeth II. And she said this: sport has a wonderful way of bringing together people and nations. And yeah, look, she's probably talking about some type of Olympic event or maybe the World Cup, but she's absolutely right. Sport has a way of bringing people together. And I noticed today when I was sitting there watching the game, still recovering from COVID, watching the Bills game away from my regular Bills group, we were able to shoot text messages. And even though I wasn't there, we were still able to be brought together, felt like we were in the same room. And that just goes without saying for people all over the world and each and every city. It brings people close to support their team. I think that's such a cool quote. The next World Cup is coming up, and I believe it's in Qatar. It's coming up soon. And that's a lot of fun because it really brings nations together, and people that pull for other nations is kind of cool. I always enjoyed being in China when the World Cup happened because it was more of a global area. And so like you really saw people that from Croatia or people that were from Brazil that you normally wouldn't see. You really get together during that. And it was all because of the sport. So Queen Elizabeth will be missed. She was such a stoic leader and a prominent person in her position. And with this quote, and she says, sport has a wonderful way of bringing together people and nations. It couldn't be any more true. So I thought I'd leave that with you before we take off. Nate, what do you think of that from the Queen?
Hey, man, it's a great quote. And, yeah, it's been sensitive times right now since the Queen has passed. And my thoughts and, well, I guess really only my thoughts with the English people and people that support the Parliament.
Yeah, Nutmeg to Palmetto says sport makes people forget about their differences, right? Even if it's all rigged anyway. That's right. I mean, it's funny because, like, especially here in the United States, if you're watching, you've definitely felt the political turmoil within both parties of Republican or Democratic. But the unfortunate part is it's spilled way into the people, and people literally hate each other or, just live their lives a certain way. And we've gone so far away from liking each other on the other side. I think that's it's a very, very complicated situation. I don't know how we're going to even come out of it. But one thing, like Nutmeg to Palmetto said, is sport brings us together. No matter what you are, no matter what party you support, what country you're in. I know here in the United States, I'm friends with everybody. I'm friends with everyone, no matter what their party is, regardless. But sometimes it's hard for people to deal with that. Sport definitely has a way of going ahead and mending those fences. Whew, Nate, I'll tell you what, I'm tired, bro.
Good job, man. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm tired. I can feel it. So it was great to be back. Awesome time. Love the beers that we did. The Gillies, fantastic. And the Marshall, I definitely recommend if you see either one of these beers in a store, try them out. Let us know what you think in the comments at some point. Nate, do you have any closing words?
Yes. Remember, next weekend is Sunday at 5:00. That's going to be the time unless something comes up, and we will let everybody know previously. So 5:00, Sunday evening, next week. See you all then.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you, Miss Scarlett. Thank you, Barrow. Thank you, everyone who stopped by the show. If you came by, stay with us the whole time. Really appreciate it. If you watched for a second, that means a lot too. Thank you so much, Nate Lagerton. You the man, bro. And well, I'm Travel Man Dan. That's Nate Lagerton. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it. All right, see you guys.
All right, guys.